Well, hello everyone. This is Misha, and I'm going to run through a few quick tutorials on the Behringer x32 compact mixer that we now have for City Church Eastside. This first tutorial is just going to give a main overview of the board, how to set it up, and then the second tutorial will be kind of how to operate the channels themselves, and then the third tutorial will be on mixing monitors. So we're going to start out by setting this board up. Now this is a digital mixing console, which gives us several benefits. One of those benefits being that it is fully recallable. You can store presets, save presets, and load presets. So it should decrease our required setup time. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up the main template that I have saved onto the board itself. And how we're going to do that, templates in this case, settings for the whole board are called scenes. So we're going to go over here to this panel here that says scenes. We're going to click in the bottom right corner where it says view. You'll notice that a lot of these panels have a button in the bottom right corner that says view. If you click that, these options will show up on your display. We're going to use the right arrow to go over to the scenes page. We're going to use this cursor to select main template and press for load. It's going to ask us load scene, left for no, right for yes, okay. We're going to click right. And you notice that all these faders moved. Like I said, this is a digital console. It has motorized faders. So whatever settings you have, whatever things you change on this board, the board can mechanically do that with these faders. So we have now loaded up our main template. The way this board is laid out is there's a bank of 8 faders on the left and a bank of 8 faders on the right, and then one master fader. This is for your main volume mix of the whole board. Typically, when you set up the board, the 8 faders on the right will be used for your input channels. You can view input channels, you can view auxes, you can view effects returns and buses on the left 8 channels. On the right 8 channels, you can select your view here, and you typically have DCAs, which are digitally controlled amplifiers. You have your buses 1 through 8 and 9 through 16, and you have matrices. You're not going to have to worry about matrices. Those will be set for you when we'll go into that far in the future. So we'll go back to the DCAs. So this board has 16 inputs going onto the stage through a digital snake, and then it has 16 inputs on the back. So the first 16 inputs, 1 through 8 and 9 through 16, are from the snake on stage. 17 through 32 are all the 16 inputs on the back of the board. Okay, so we can view channels 1 through 8, channels 9 through 16, channels 17 through 24, and 25 through 32. Okay, the right side is our DCAs at this point, digitally controlled amplifiers, and what those are is basically remote controls for the input channels over here. But the benefit is that they can actually control multiple channels. So for example, DCA 1 says speaker mic. That actually includes both of the pastor's wireless mics, so pastor wireless mic 1, pastor wireless mic 2, as well as the prayer mic that we use for the prayers of the people and stuff like that on stage. DCA 2 includes vocals. So that includes your lead vocal, but it also includes background vocal 1 and background vocal 2. DCA 3, rhythm instruments, includes the rhythm acoustic and the rhythm electric. Now that's going to be whatever guitar our worship leader is playing. So for me, sometimes that's an acoustic guitar, sometimes that's an electric guitar, sometimes I switch back and forth between the two, between songs. And Jack does the same thing. So both of those guitars are controlled. You have some control here over the volume of both those guitars. So once you get them kind of established in the mix, maybe you need a little bit more acoustic guitar than electric guitar. If all of a sudden you realize that you need a little bit more guitar in general, then you can either turn up the acoustic guitar and turn up the rhythm guitar, the electric guitar, or you can just turn up the DCA, and that'll actually turn up both guitars. Electric guitar goes into DCA 4. DCA 5 is other instruments, so that includes the bass guitar. It also includes the banjo, mandolin, cello, keys, and any other instruments we put in there. Now, DCA 6 and 7 are reverb and delay. And this is controls that we have not had in the past with our board. So now we have the ability to add effects that are integrated into the board. And so that's one of the benefits of this board, is being able to add reverb and delay, and we'll kind of go over that later. And then DCA is the Mac, which is the computer that's connected to the projector. So if we're showing any video or anything like that that needs audio coming from the computer, then this is where you would control that. Now, for many of you, you're coming from a lot of your experiences with the Mackie 1604 mixer that had 16 channels and then the master faders. You can get to that kind of traditional view by pressing two buttons at once. Channel 1 through 8 and channel 9 through 16 will actually give you channels 1 through 8 and 9 through 16 all in a row. And so this will be more of your traditional look. But for myself, I find this is good for setting everything up in the beginning, getting all your basic levels, and then once the service has started, I would go to this setup where I have my DCAs, because that gives me controls over some of the effects and the instruments in groups. So that's kind of the basic layout, how the board is laid out. And so in the next video, I'll talk about setting up channels and how those work and how buses work and stuff like that. All right? Thank you.